my name is Reneé Rapp, and I play Regina George. I think it's like the perfect time for a movie like this to come back in a new way with like a new life. But yeah, it was such a big deal, and it remains such a big deal, which I think is like a huge testament to like how well done the film was. That like 20 years later, it's just as poppin' as it was when it came out when I was a kid. I was so excited. I was so excited. And I felt like excited to be able to like do that role again, because I think it's seldom do you get to like revisit things, and I also get to revisit it in a different medium, right? Like I think doing it on stage is its own beast, but like I really love acting on camera now, and that was something I hadn't done ever before when I was doing it on Broadway. So it was exciting to feel like I could do that. You don't like say like Mean Girls and like no one knows what you're talking about. Do you know what I mean? So I think like there's an incredibly high standard already on the project based on how massive it was, and also like the level of work and talent and like skill that went into making something like that, and having it, you know, have the longevity that it does. Regina is like the HBIC, which is head bitch in charge. She's like really sexy and like bitchy and like has a bite, but is also really endearing, and like you're kind of obsessed with her, but you're like, this woman is like so mean. The best thing about her is that like this is a villain who you're forced to like. And I think like as an actor, that's a really difficult kind of, you know, thing to balance, because obviously like, you know, calling someone a bitch in an endearing way takes a little bit of skill and finesse. I, however, have quite a bit of practice with that, so love playing her, love doing her, love being her. Imagine if you just took like 50 people who are like all very theatrical and artistic in very different ways, but also incredibly similar, and put them in a school in the middle of New Jersey with really low ceilings just to flag, and we're like, go girls. That's a wild environment. And so we all became so close in like such a witty way of like, I'm not sure that we really bonded over anything that had anything to do with our lives. I think we're all just like, we're in New Jersey. So we all had a lot of fun, and they were really, really fun to work with. And Gowrie is like a tiny little cute little grandma. Like she knits and like reads books. She's just the cutest and is one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. And I can always tell that I really love someone if I like meet them and I'm immediately like, my friends would like you, because I have very judgmental friends. Are all theater kids, and I immediately was like, everyone's gonna love Gowrie. Regina sees Katie as like a threat, and also sees her as like not a threat. And I think feeling those ways at the exact same time is very confusing, and like there's a lot going on. So it's like a battle of like ego and insecurity, like going crazy, which become the same thing, kind of inherently are the same thing. Ali'i is so cool. I mean, she's the coolest. She's also, I think like something one of her most admirable qualities to me as a human being is like, she is really herself. She is really herself. And like, I mean that in a very complimentary way. She knows who she is, she knows what she wants, and she knows that she's there to do her job. And also like, she is resilient as hell. Jaquel is one of the most talented people on the face of the earth. He is so funny. It's like not even, like you can't be like taught to be that funny. Like that's actually just something you're born with. He's the sweetest thing ever. Is like, just like a little flower, like is perfect, and also is hilarious and is one of the best singers ever. I love Tina. She is so brilliant in an almost unassuming way, in a way that like, I remember like meeting her for the first time, and like you know, obviously like see how hilarious someone is, and then you like listen to them talk, and they're like this like intellectual, like really like introspective, like I don't know, like reflective person, and you're like, oh, wow. I was like, oh, you're really smart. And she has taught me that like comedians are some of the most brilliant people in the world, second to theater kids, but she is awesome. Working together on the film was a much more in-depth kind of nature, but I've always felt very looked after by her, and she's always made that really apparent, like me and even like my parents. Like, she takes care of me, and she has since I was a teenager, and has always been like a champion of mine. Therefore, like, I'm always going to be a champion of hers. It's Mean Girls. It's hot. It's sexy. We care so much, and we care about what we do. And so we put our best foot forward, just as Tina and Jeff and Eric and Micah and every single person did who worked on the project, to make it the best version of what it could be. So it's a must-see because we're all very hot, and we're all very enticing, and the movie is good.